Greetings, everyone, and peace be with you. My name is Reverend Matthew, and welcome to the Devotional here at Selby United Church. So last week, I want to tell you a story about last week. Last week, I lost 2 days of work because of stuff that I didn't know was going to happen happened. I was set to work from home Monday, as I usually do, and I was going to go to a birthday party that evening for a very close friend of mine. And so my plan was to work from home in the morning, take my lunch hour to drive home, work from home in the evening at my mom's house, and then go to my friend's birthday party. Well, I left my house at 11:30. And I didn't get to my mom's home until about 3:30. There was a lane closure, and it just blew up my whole day. The next day was Tuesday, and I needed to go. I was going to go home. I had stayed the night at my mom's. I was going to come back here to the office that day and get a bunch of work done. But sadly, something happened with my grandfather. He's fine, but he developed a pain in his leg, and we were a bit worried, so we took him to the hospital. And well, as you know, going to the hospital takes all day. We were in the emergency room all day waiting for the results of some tests, moving around. But looking back at it, I was reminded of one of my favorite scriptures, and I can't believe I didn't think about it until the day it happened, which was Ecclesiastes 4:5-6. It goes like this: "The fool folds his hands and eats his own flesh. Better is a handful of quietness than 2 full hands of toil and a striving after wind." So what does that mean? That's kind of a bunch of weird language, isn't it? Well, see, Ecclesiastes 4, a lot of it is about toil and how it seems to be the work and skill of our hands can lead to a lot of envy and vanity. A lot of Ecclesiastes has the word vanity in it in our English translations, which actually is the Hebrew word hevel, which doesn't mean what we think is vanity so much as it's wisps of smoke. It describes like smoke flowing through the air, and if you try to grab it, it leaves your hand. So when it says vanity, that's really what it means. It's something unreally controllable, only graspable for a minute, something not permanent, not really holding on to it. And so what is it talking about here? Well, it says that people who are not working, they've looked at that, they've seen that vanity and go, you know what, I'm not going to work, I'm not going to do anything or try at all. They fold their hands and they waste away. They eat their own flesh. They waste away into nothingness. They don't get anything done. So the Ecclesiastes is criticizing that, because as it criticizes a lot of life on earth to kind of figure out what's good and what's wrong. But then it also criticizes the guy who tries to grab the wind with both hands, someone who's working so hard to try and grab something when it is truly, some of it easily lost. So many things out of our control. And think about it. You know those moments in traffic where you're like, oh, I want to go somewhere? Well, that's the moments where you're trying to grab the wind with both hands, right? You can't control how everyone else is on the road. You can only hope that the road is clear that day. And so getting mad about it is grasping the wind with both hands and watching it slip through your fingers. I can't control how the roads are. I can only be here on the road. So what is Ecclesiastes' answer to that? What is it? It says, better is one hand with quietness, it says, and one hand on your work. What does that mean? Well, the hand with quietness is actually a term for having your hand open to what comes. And the other hand is about working. We have to work. We can't just give up working. Things have to get done or nothing would get better. Nothing would happen. We would waste away as the fool does, sitting on his own hands. But so we have to just work towards it. I have to be on the road getting home, but I have to be open as well to kind of work within the situation I'm in. That is the wisdom from Scripture today. And so I'll give you an example. I was stuck on the road, and I felt that gripping. I was, gripping the wheel with 2 hands. I'm gripping the wind. So what did I decide? I thought of that. I thought a little bit of this. Obviously, this scripture stuck to me a little bit. So I thought to myself, you know what? What can I make of this situation? So you know what I did? I called my girlfriend. I talked to her for a while. I called my cousin Cooper. I talked to him for a while. And you know what? Those were great conversations that I'm happy to have. And you know what? The day at the hospital, you wonder yourself, how do you get anything out of that? Well, you know what? As much as it's rotten that my grandfather has that pain in his leg, it's rotten that we had to be at the hospital, him and I really enjoyed spending the day together. We got to laugh together, joke together, talk to each other. I got to push him around in a wheelchair everywhere. We spent the whole day together, which I wouldn't have gotten if I was at work. I would have been here doing something else. So you know what? I really do appreciate that I got to spend that day with him. And you know what? The jokes we shared and the time we shared, I will remember for a long time. And that's the wisdom from Scripture I wanted to share with you today. I hope it helps. Maybe when you're in a situation where you have to wait longer than you should, or something seems to have gotten in the way, maybe it'll help you in this moment to remember that, you know what? Sometimes it's good. You can't control everything. To try and do so is like grasping after wind that'll slip through your fingers. But what you can do is try and take what comes and turns it into a good situation. So try and find ways to take pleasure even in moments of toil. And thank God for the small mercies when we can. Thanks for listening.